Namaskar. Bhim Palasi, welcome to all our viewers. Saturday night, 10 p.m. is Shekhar Iyer time. And do we have news for you today? Shekhar Iyer is bursting with enthusiasm and wants to share a lot of things that are happening and his views. As we all know, Shekhar has the memory of an elephant. He can always recall an anecdote or two about all these people. So let's now welcome Shekhar Iyer. Shekhar namaskar. Welcome to P Guru's channel. How are you, sir?
Namaste, namaste, Shree, namaste. It's the elephant that is causing problem for Rahul Gandhi now because wild animals are on rampage in conflict with people in Wayanad particularly. So he has cut short his yatra and rushed to his constituency, Wayanad, because in a place called 𝗒𝙗𝘅, there has been a problem because a leopard or a tiger killed a bull, and an elephant killed a tourism guide. After that, Wayanad has been up in arms. That particular area they have been actually attacking the forest officials and forestry. And the person who died is one Mr. Paul. So Rahul Gandhi has rushed to that constituency. That's a real battle with the elephant, and because of increasing animal human conflict, the people there are demanding some kind of higher compensation. And the other thing is because population is growing, and the settlements are also encroaching into forest areas. There is a perennial problem with this elephant corridor, whether it is in Wayanad or in even in place like Palakkad. There is a problem, particularly in areas in the ranges near Malampura. So that's about, and Wayanad is becoming difficult, sir, because Pinarayi Vijayan is very keen to see that the Wayanad returns to CPM fold. And last elections, the left had, drawn a blank. This time he wants at least 15 out of the 20 seats from Lok Sabha. Now, before I get to that, sir, this evening there was a very, very interesting session of gathering of almost about 8 to 9,000 people at Bharat Mandapam, where the BJP National Convention has got underway, where all workers from all over India, all members of the state executive, even at the panchayat level, have been called to Delhi, where the Prime Minister, after a brief talk, because he is going to deliver the major thrust of his ideas for how the party should win the target of 370 for itself and 400 plus for NDA. That he is going to do Sunday afternoon, and that's going to be a very, very major tips for the party workers. But today he heard them, he heard every speaker. There was JP Nadda who inaugurated the convention. It was followed by Rajnath. Even Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman spoke, and all talking about what the government has achieved and how they should go to the people. From what I gather, sir, from my sources inside the Bharat Mandapam, is that basically 4 points are coming across where the PM is telling people, telling BJP workers, go to the people with, particularly to the youngsters, and tell them what are the situation before 2014 and what is the situation after 2014. He wants them to even carry pictures as proof as to changes that has happened, physical proof of how things have improved, whether it's infrastructure, whether it is pipe water supply, Awas Yojana, show them the pictures. The second thing he has told them, what I get to hear is that they should concentrate on youth, particularly the first time voters, as well as uh, those who are below 25 years of age, and tell them what the party is doing for the youth, what the government is doing for the youth. And the third is he wants them to, at the booth level, at each booth level, there are more than 87,000 booths across the country. He wants them to, uh, each booth in charge who is there, to at least ensure that in every in every booth, at least 370 seats are added this time compared to the previous years, as a sort of a 370 goal in mind. And then he wants his party people to talk about uh, the commitments that the BJP had made and ones that they are fulfilled, whether it's Ram Temple, Article 370, or it is even issues like triple talaq, and now the move for a uniform civil code. He wants them to talk to the party. So that's what is happening today, sir. There is a big interaction going on. So many leaders all over the country gathered under one roof, actually, literally under one roof. And Prime Minister spending talking to individually to some of the leaders. All the BJP chief ministers are here. Even the BJP chief ministers are going to have a separate session with the Prime Minister. Now, I'm mentioning the BJP National Convention because here is a party which is going to the polls with a lot of preparations. On the other hand, you are seeing already a meltdown in the Congress. But before I come to that, said that a horrific story that is unraveling in Bengal, I think that is something. Mamata Banerjee trying to defend the prime accused, 𝗤𝙗𝙗 Sheikh, a Trinamool Congress leader who has been the party's, I think, designated extortionist, I must say, because he has been collecting funds and his name figured in the PDS scam, in which now the estimate is about 20,000 crores of money was lost. And that is how ED had gone after him in a place called Sandeshkali. Sandeshkali is an island, actually. It's a riverine area, and the easiest way to reach is by boat. But this man was running an empire of horror, I must say, because particularly sexual exploitation of women. Now, all these stories would not have come out but for 𝗤𝙗𝙗, absconding after the ET raid and cases against him. Then local people have come out on the streets of that small village called Sandeshkali, carrying sticks in their hands and venting out their anger. And that's how they caught the attention of the local media first, now the national media. But instead of responding to this horror stories of these women, how they were exploited sexually, besides their land being grabbed, their money being taken away, and threats, murders, and several things happening to their husbands or to their menfolk. Mamata Banerjee has sought to defend this whole thing as saying that it's all creation of RSS people. It is RSS people who have infiltrated that village and stopping opposition leaders from visiting that place. And she has set up a police inquiry team under a women officer, and that team has been actually trying to collect evidence. And each case, they have been asking such questions as to did you report this rape? Did you report this? Did you go to the police station? When everybody knew was police was hand in gloves with this man, was the Trinamool man, pointsman there, who was collecting money and sending it to the higher ups. Instead of cracking down, and of course, the latest breaking news is one of the accused is one Shiva Prasad Hazra, who has been arrested now. But what about 𝗤𝙗𝙗 Sheikh, and whom she said. I mean, the most horrible thing that Chief Minister could say was that 𝗤𝙗𝙗 is being targeted because he's a Muslim. Whereas here the story is that Hindu women have been targeted by 𝗤𝙗𝙗's gang. And the story that is coming out is there are two stories, sir. One, they are using intimidation and police is involved. I'm willing to even say that to accuse the people who are supposed to be investigating are actually dissuading the local women from lodging a complaint. And the second thing is what we are seeing is the ministers, Mamata's ministers, are visiting Sandeshkali and telling those women and that their land would be returned, the money would be returned, some compensation can be paid, but don't make a hue and cry about this. Let bygones be bygones. That kind of trying to persuade them not to blow this up, as if this needed to be blown up because it's already a very serious issue. So, in fact, the entire Bengal is in shock. So is the rest of the country, sir. And Bengal BJP leaders will be speaking about this as the convention gets underway this evening and even through Sunday before the Prime Minister wraps it up, because they have more details, and so many women have come forth and said how young brides were targeted, beautiful women were targeted, the relatives were targeted. and there were no rhyme or reason why a particular person was targeted, except if it caught the fancy of Shah Jahan. I mean, this is something we are taken to medieval times, that whoever was ruler or a sultan or emir could pick up anybody he wanted. That's what exactly has happened in Sandeshkali, and the very watchful eyes of Mamata Banerjee, and she has a cheek to blame the opposition for staging a drama, and that too she said it on the floor of the house, floor of the West Bengal Assembly. Governor wanted to go there, he was prevented. So this is something that needs a much stronger reaction than what the center has done so far. The Center National Women's Commission team. But I think that there's more needs to be done, sir. I think this can also be the Singur movement for her, because why I'm saying Singur movement. Similarly, if you recall, sir, in the 𝗣𝗬𝗍 Bhattacharya's last term, because after that CPM was defeated after 30-year rule by Mamata Banerjee. And Mamata undertook a big agitation in Singur because lands were being taken for a chemical complex to come there. And that is the time when Mamata played the radical left and went there, mobilized the villagers, many of whom belong to minorities. And then her agitation became a talking point, and 𝗣𝗬𝗍 Bhattacharya was forced to abandon that, but that saw the decline of CPM. Similarly, sir, this Sandeshkali could be Mamata's Singur movement, just as Singur was for 𝗣𝗬𝗍 Bhattacharya. So I think this is a very big thing happening there. And suddenly, why Mamata was having everything under leash, under total control. But this particular incident, because today I spoke to many people in West Bengal, sir, and I asked them what is the truth of these allegations, and they tell me, unfortunately, every word that is coming out from the victims is true. And I was shocked to hear this, because my sources, who are not politically aligned to either side, but who do tell me as to what is happening on the ground, and they say that is a very horrific thing, and Mamata should not be shielding the accused, should not be trying to do, a cover up job. But that's what exactly has happened, sir.
Shekharji, so clearly the opposition parties are seeing blood in the water. Are they going to go for the kill? Let's see, BJP, I'm not very sure, Shekharji. Sometimes they kind of let things be, let things drift. When you have to go for the jugular, they don't do that. Example is Telangana. We were screaming from the top of our lungs, saying that this is not the right. You guys have to hit now. And see, the what happened, I believe now people are beginning to analyze it. What also happened is, see, there was this TDP remnants in Telangana which voted for BJP in 2019 in the Lok Sabha elections. But this time they appear to have cast their lot with the Congress, because this guy Revanth Reddy is a mentee of Chandrababu Naidu. So that bulk also came to them. So Congress got the minority. They also got this, TDP voters. So this, I feel like if BJP had been a little bit more aggressive, they could have made it happen. And again, in Bengal also, I haven't seen uh, excellent leadership, sir. There are people who are very good, and BJP refuses to look at them and say that these are good people, that they could be, creating that imagination in the people. Yes, what he's saying is right. We can do this thing, that kind of stuff. So the leadership of BJP in West Bengal, unless Subhendu Adhikari is the person that they are going to project as a BJP chief ministerial candidate, that sounds strange too. Because again, that means that a regional satrap who's going to oust his own leader to get power. Do you think BJP will do that? That's not Modi style, though. He tends to have very pliant chief ministers.
So right now, the BJP has been hitting the streets, and thanks
Hmm.
largely to two leaders, both Suvendu Adhikari and Sukanta Majumdar. In
Hmm.
fact, they have been they have been receiving police lathis also, because
Hmm.
they have been insisting on trying to visit the Sandeshkali and to talk to the victims, and Mamata's police has been preventing them. In fact, uh, 2 days ago, you had on 14th of February, you had Basanta Panchami, which is celebrated in West Bengal as Saraswati Puja.
Hmm.
And Sukanta Majumdar did the puja on the bridge to this place because police stopped him there. I mean, they did the Saraswati Puja there because Saraswati Puja is celebrated is actually advent of spring in West Bengal, and in places like Shantiniketan, it's a great festival. The entire Bengal, just like in Durga Puja, you see, there is a festive mood comes. Similarly, in Basanta Panjabi, you have a festival mood, and people, everybody wear, don yellow clothes, yellow sarees, and yellow kurtas, and it's really beautiful to see any, uh, academic institution celebrating Saraswati Puja all the campuses. But unfortunately, the festive mood has been marred by the revelations coming from Sandeshkali. Yes, the BJP leadership has often been doing real politics rather than acting on cases that should be immediately acted upon. This is an impression. But right now, I think this case is getting a lot of attention. The BJP central team also went there, and everyone expects the Prime Minister will definitely make a mention of these horrors when he wraps up the convention, and we're touching upon various political situations. And in Bengal at the moment it is Sandesh Khali. Local channels are going non-stop saturation coverage. So have the national channels. I think this is Mamata's most difficult moments, but she can turn it into an opportunity if she can act against these people, which she must. But what we are seeing is again, including our nephew Abhishek Banerjee, trying to divert it on BJP. And sir, this time CPM is also out on the streets on this very issue. So is Congress. Even Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary has been prevented from visiting that place. The entire opposition. So BJP may be appearing to take the lead, but even CPM is not keeping quiet, and the victims are Hindu women, and perpetrators are seen to be either Rohingyas, henchmen of this Shah Jahan Sheikh. So that is why there is a lot of feeling that this is indeed a communal violence. This is indeed a communal horror because the victims belong to one particular community. And
So surprising that Mamata hasn't mentioned yet that it is a reverse polarization move by the BJP.
so she's saying that it is all RSS people have come, they are doing it, and that she said it on the floor of the house.
Hmm.
I mean, and people who heard it, and they were saying, "What is this? I mean, why is she so defensive about the accused in these cases? Is it that the TMC has been built on an empire of extortion, built on an empire of these people who only provide money, either through smuggling, either through cattle lifting, either through any making a cut out of every economic activity? So 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 one can see that the kind of anguish that is being expressed in various fora about what has happened in Bengal, sir. But even as Bengal is unfolding the way it is, we are seeing another drama, sir, which is happening with today. Kamal Nath and his son, they cancelled his trip to Chindwara, their constituency, and they headed to Delhi. He took his own aircraft to come. But the speculation in Bhopal was that he is headed to Delhi and probably he'll meet Modi or the Home Minister and then dump Congress because he is as much upset with Rahul Gandhi as much as Rahul is upset with him for the Congress defeat in the assembly elections. His son Nakul Nath, who represents Chindwara Lok Sabha constituency, his father's constituency since 1977, Kamal Nath has lost only once, and what has happened is Kamal Nath is not saying anything. He says, "Look, why are you getting excited?" I mean, he told the media people, "I haven't decided anything." But his son, from his Twitter bio, he dropped that reference that he is a member of Congress, member of Parliament. And one channel pointed out, a Hindi channel, that hand went missing. The Congress hand, which used to be there, in that bio Twitter, it went missing. Now, Kamal Nath is worried about his son. I mean, let's look at some of the facts about this, what is happening. And Kamal Nath has realized that Rahul will deny his son the ticket this time for a simple reason, because he wants to avenge for Congress defeat in Madhya Pradesh. So Kamal Nath took his son to Chindwara about a few days ago and declared at a public rally that Nakul Nath, that is his son's name, will be the candidate. I mean, trying to force the Congress leadership that you have to name him as. And definitely Rahul is not going to oblige Kamal Nath. So Kamal Nath, then the word spread around that he suddenly cut short his program and is going to Bhopal. And today 𝗤𝙧𝙤𝘆 was speaking for him, saying, no, no, he is a person who has always stood with Indira Gandhi, who has stood with Rajiv Gandhi. How can he leave the Congress? They were trying to give some explanation, ruling out the possibility of Kamal Nath going. Now, my sources, sir, sources close to Kamal Nath and sources in the Congress party tell me that Kamal Nath may himself not shift at this juncture. He will let his son go and probably seek the help of BJP to help his son get elected. One. Secondly, BJP has a problem with Kamal Nath because often, previously, the past, they have raised this Kamal Nath's alleged role in the 1984 anti-Sikh riots. So every time, they used to say that, Kamal Nath's name is corrected just as 𝙥𝙬𝙤. But of course, in the last few years, they have not been saying much about it because there was no commission of inquiry ever found anything or indicted Kamal Nath or ever mentioned him in the case of riots. That people used to say is that Kamal Nath managed his eyewitness as well. But I do not know the truth of this. But Kamal Nath name has often figured, and BJP has always been making it an issue, particularly before Punjab elections. But and but I don't think this time that's an issue. But so Kamal Nath possibly, sir, because his ambition is to ultimately, if possible, because now he has declared a war on Rahul Gandhi, and Rahul Gandhi is out to finish him. So there is a possibility, and since Kamal Nath is also close to Priyanka Gandhi, that Kamal Nath may bide his time for Lok Sabha elections to get over. And then probably he will try to take charge of the entire Congress party with the help of some of these senior leaders who are very upset with Rahul Gandhi. Sir, coincidentally, there is another thing that is happening, which is where Rahul Gandhi has ensured that Priyanka Gandhi is not seen anywhere in his yatra. He told her not to join his yatra, not to come when the yatra started in Manipur. Did not allow her to join in this yatra in between. And now when it is entering Uttar Pradesh, he has specifically said, I don't want you here. At a time when everybody is talking about Sonia going to shifting out from Raebareli, becoming a Rajya Sabha member from Rajasthan, and when she went to file her papers, both her son and daughter accompanied Sonia Gandhi. And the strangest part, sir, Priyanka Gandhi issued a statement a day ago saying that since she's not well and she probably needs hospital care, that's why she's not joining in the yatra. But people are wondering that they just saw a day before, a day ago, where she was with Sonia Gandhi, helping her in the filing of nomination, being with her as a sort of solidarity with their mother. Nobody believes this, that she needs some hospitalization. But Rahul Gandhi is against her being seen in the yatra, which he says the yatra is only about himself. And just it is about himself, we are seeing already where the yatra is taking the Congress party. Sir, other thing is this the time to, and we are not for the whole Gandhi family being in the politics, or we are not supporting any dynastic succession or dynastic politics. But I am today speaking a case for Priyanka Gandhi, sir. She was at least a fighter. She campaigned everywhere. And many people in the party think that she will make a better leader for the Congress than Rahul Gandhi. Now the question is, if Priyanka Gandhi will not be seen in the yatra when it goes through Uttar Pradesh, so who is going to be the candidate from Raebareli, Lok Sabha seat, which Sonia Gandhi has decided to vacate for once for all by becoming Rajya Sabha member for Rajasthan? So what is going to happen? Will Priyanka Gandhi not contest from Raebareli? And what about Amethi? Will Rahul Gandhi not contest from Amethi? So they won't contest from UP at all. Or if they decide that Priyanka should contest from Raebareli in their mother's place, then they will have to ensure a safe seat for her somewhere from the south, maybe from Karnataka or maybe from Telangana, the possibility. And then Rahul Gandhi himself needs a safe seat because Wayanad, as we mentioned in the beginning of our interaction, that Wayanad is also not safe for him because Pinarayi Vijayan wants to ensure that somehow the seat is taken back. Now, this is the kind of scenario, but Rahul seems to be really not being kind to his sister because you saw when the Congress working committee was constituted, office bearers list came out, she was listed as a general secretary, but then specifically against her it was written, not assigned any portfolio. And I hear from people who are not happy with Rahul, but who feel that Priyanka can still be the answer. They tell me that Priyanka Gandhi has been forced to lie low, both by the mother and son, so that Rahul continues to get the turbo boost. Whatever turbo boost, sir, the vehicle is going nowhere. The last picture of we saw Rahul in this yatra is in a red jeep, which was being driven by Tejasvi Yadav and Rahul waving to crowds, and former Lok Sabha Speaker Meera Kumar on the back seat because they were traveling through Sasaram. Sasaram is Jagjivan Ram's constituency, Meera Kumar's constituency, former Lok Sabha Speaker, Sasaram. Now, sir, another strange thing has happened, which is very upset, which is upset Rahul Gandhi. I'll just mention this and then I'll give the floor to you, sir. Rahul Gandhi visited Banaras today. He went to Kashi Vishwanath temple, but his team of photographers were not allowed to take any snaps of him entering the temple, offering prayers, coming out, and that has upset the Congress managers like anything. What is this? Camera follows everywhere when Prime Minister goes to temples. Why is that being denied to us? Because the whole purpose of his going to temple is not served. He didn't go to the temple to offer prayers to Kashi Vishwanath, Vishveshwaraya. He went in the hope that this is part of that Tsunami Hindu model. Because when he went to Baidyanath Dham in Deoghar, in Jharkhand, which is one of the 12 Jyotirlingas in this country, when he came out of the temple with Chandan on his forehead, the crowd outside greeted him with Modi, Modi. Here, he was not allowed to be captured for posterity, visiting the temple. So the feeling is that a great injustice has been done to Rahul Gandhi. The party made it a mention. That's why on the screen we see the Congress spokesperson as well as Jairam Ramesh.
काशी में तो निश्चित तौर से जब भी राहुल जी आए हैं और निश्चित बाबा विश्वनाथ को उन्होंने आशीर्वाद दिया, गंगा मैया का आशीर्वाद दिया और बहुत ही भव्य तरीके से अभिषेक के साथ बाबा का आशीर्वाद, बाबा की कृपा मिली है। और निश्चित तौर से आज एक बहुत ही मजबूती के साथ मैंने देखा वहां पर जो हर हर महादेव के साथ उद्घोष के साथ लोगों ने राहुल जी को आशीर्वाद दिया है। मैं समझता हूँ कि बहुत ही हम सबके लिए सुखद और ऐतिहासिक बात। और निश्चित अभी तक जो फोटोज के लिए मैं आपको कहना चाहूंगा कि आप देखे होंगे इसके पहले ये चाहे भाजपा का कोई नेता आता है उसमें सब कैमरा अलाउड करते हैं, सारे कैमराज अंदर जाते हैं, यहाँ का प्रशासन अंदर अलाउड करता है। इवन छोटे से छोटे भी नेता भाजपा के जाएंगे तो उनके सारी फोटोज आते हैं। राहुल जी के साथ कैमरा को अलाउड पहले कर दिया था, निरस्त कर दिया, मना कर दिया और अभी तक वहां से कोई भी एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन ने, क्योंकि मंदिर पूरा अधिग्रहण है, उनके अधीन है, उन्होंने कोई फोटो अभी तक जारी नहीं किया।
शेर जी, ये घोर अन्याय है। This is gross injustice being done, that Rahul's prayer for election purposes is not being allowed to be, circulated or not being allowed to be even captured. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. And when you mentioned that Rahul was standing in the front row of the Jeep, and Meera Kumari was sitting in the behind, then I was wondering if Meera Kumari ji, by force of habit, was trying to say, "Baith jaiye Rahul ji, baith jaiye Rahul ji." So,
no, but Tejasvi Yadav driving the car, driving the jeep, and Rahul being very happy with whatever crowd. I mean, RJD did manage to have a good crowd there, and of course now that Rahul has gone to Wayanad, I am told that he'll return to Allahabad or your Prayagraj, as it is known now these days, by February 18th. That is Sunday. Sunday by 3:30 p.m. He is supposed to be there back for his yatra after paying respects to the person who has become victim of an elephant attack in Wayanad. And initially people were confused. Why is he just leaving Wayanad? Leaving this Kashi from Kashi. Why is he flying to Wayanad? But then, from the details that has emerged, is all because this animal man conflict is making headlines in Kerala, and particularly it's happening in his constituency. He wanted to be there because other party leaders have already reached there. So that is it. So and this Congress panic, sir, and Priyanka being not given given any role, and then this today's Kashi Vishwanath development, all that doesn't seem to indicate things are going to be good for the Congress. And also, sir, already in the party, people are feeling as if you know that they have to leave because neither they don't see a better prospect for themselves, they don't see a better prospect for the party, and excepting for the DMK spokesperson these days, I see on national television trying to recall, for instance, this controversy about Congress money being frozen in banks. Sir, even as a press conference was being held to report that how Congress accounts have been frozen, they got the relief they wanted from the Income Tax Appellate Tribunal. Vivek Takka, their Congress member of Parliament from Rajya Sabha, and also who is a lawyer, he had appeared and got the relief. And they did not say that the freezing, it was not a freezing order. They had fixed up, Leon, saying that, look, this is the amount due, so whatever money you leave this amount, 115 crore aside. Now, this penalty has come because they have received lot of cash donations from MPs and MLAs. And the case dates back to 2018-19. But even when they got a relief, they wanted to make an issue, but then it died down because it was no issue. And it came, they wanted to use the story after Supreme Court had outlawed these electoral bonds. Sir.
In your opinion, is banning electoral bonds good or bad for India's politics?
Sir, on a principle that everything should be transparent, probably it looks a very logical judgment. But then it is also taking the clock back to the previous situation. Because
Right.
the bonds were basically idea that there should not be black money contribution. But Supreme Court felt that it was not about black market, black money or anything. This is more about there are several ways to curb black money. This is about people's right to know as to who are the donors for which parties and who are the donors and which are the parties which are getting benefited. Perfectly fine. But I think in terms of in terms of curbing black money, because today you cannot be an anonymous donor, that is, you cannot contribute more than 20,000 rupees in cash. Like, none of us can deal more than 20,000 rupees in cash in any dealings. So when the bond came, the donors particularly, they had insisted that they did want a reprisal, they didn't want to be singled out, because if a particular party feels that they have not given that party, but Supreme Court has assumed in this judgment, sir, that the large contribution is because of some quid pro quo. That because of a quid pro quo, this quid pro should be exposed. That everybody who has given a money has given a money because these are companies and they would not have given for a love of any party. They would have given because of some deal. I mean, in some case, I mean, quid pro quo. I mean, you do this for us, we will do this for you. Now, opposition, Congress party, they also accepted the bonds. Though one of the Congress leader went to the court challenging the bond, Jaya Thakur. And CPM, no question of accepting the bond, because I don't think anybody offered them an electoral bond. But they have not received any money. But there are other parties, whether it is Trinamool Congress or whether it is DMK or Naveen Patnaik's Biju Janata Dal, they have all received money. Now, the Congress main gross was we received only close to 1,000 crore, 1,000 crores. But BJP got 10,000, 11,000 crore, 10,000 crore more than us. And Jairam Ramesh's first reaction was, this will now ensure the power of the vote will overcome the power of the note. Sir, without the power of vote on your side, nobody is giving you notes.
I think the other way around, sir.
No, sir, unless you are seen as a party that will win elections, unless you are seen as a party who will get votes, who will give you notes? So the note is dependent on the votes you people think that you have a track record of getting. So therefore, but I think there are people who feel, particularly from the donors part, they feel that they have, when they bought the bonds, they were assured by the provisions of the electoral bond that there will be their privacy will be protected. Now that the Supreme Court has ordered Election Commission to get the list from the State Bank of India, all the transactions that have happened, bonds that were bought and they were encashed, right from 2019, April 2019, that is when the matter came before this court. So there were problems in the electoral bond, the way they were being administered, no doubt about it. Because a very commonsensical question says, look, why should not the people know? But unfortunately, in our country, sir, in India, unlike in America, where lobbying is very legal profession, here we do not even recognize that, we assume an altruistic situation where people want to contribute, and there is nothing in return. So the Supreme Court's order in this matter has a legal logic, certainly. But to put it in terms of, people's right to know is bigger than, curbing black money, or even if this is measured, sir, perhaps this whole issue could have been, further looked at instead of completely bringing it to square one, which means it will be back to black money contribution. And we just saw this this Jharkhand MP 𝗜𝙧𝙤𝙪 𝗢𝘂. He had kept more than 250 crores in cash. Obviously not for any of his business. It is meant for elections. But then Congress is trying to play holier than thou, Rahul saying that this is a proof of Modi government's politics of corruption. I think, sir, people may approach Supreme Court to review its order to see if the donors can somehow get relief. But then there is a counter view that once the whole provision is considered illegal, how can even anybody claim to be a victim? But then, sir, if those bond, and there are other problems in the disclosure, because this would affect banking norms. There are certain norms that says that you have to protect your account holders' data, details, and transactions. So how will the Supreme Court order be implemented by the State Bank of India? So there are legal issues. Of course, Supreme Court may not, entertain any appeal for review, because reviews are normally done in the chambers of the judges. There is no open court hearing, or the prayer is distributed among the judges and they come to conclusion whether they need to do something. That is the review. Now, curative petition is different, where the affected party files a petition and seeks a complete re-hearing of this whole case. That's a different matter. But at the moment, I don't think, sir, before Lok Sabha elections, anything is going to happen, because and all those suggestion whether central government will come with ordinance, I don't think, because you cannot bring an ordinance in this case and try to reverse the judgment, because that is violation of the constitution. because Supreme Court is final in the matter of law. Yes, you can bring in another scheme, taking into account the points that were raised by the Supreme Court in its judgment. You can bring in another scheme, but you cannot replace, since it has been quashed, you bring in another scheme just to replace the old one. That won't do. But you can bring afresh a completely a new thing, which will look into the issue. But this issue needs to be debated, because the assumption that there is a quid pro quo, and there is quite possibility that there are people who may have an inclination towards a party, its policies. Not that everyone expects a quid pro quo. There can be a political affiliation. But that Supreme Court has not gone into. It feels if these are companies, and that the fact that companies can buy, and some of the companies may be using shell companies to buy. I mean, these are the arguments in the Supreme Court order, that if the judgment. So if it can happen like this, then so there is no question other than there being a quid pro quo. Sir.
Sorry, sir, I'm having a little bit of technical difficulties here. I was trying to solve it. I was getting some messages. So sorry if I was drifting in and out or zooming in and out. I'm trying to make do with my limited setup here. Apologies. Also, apologies for calling Meera Kumar's name wrong. It is Meera Kumar, not Meera Kumari. So another mistake on my part. I think, is it Meera or Meena? I think it's Meera, right?
Meera Kumar.
Meera. 𝗣𝗚 𝗫𝗍𝘅 Meera.
MEIRA.
Meera Kumar.
Yes.
So sorry about that. I shouldn't be making such mistakes, but you have to cut me some slack. I'm in the middle of jet lag here, and trying to keep up with some very interesting developments. See, Shekharji, last one. Ajit Pawar's wife is going to be fighting Supriya Sule in what, Parbhani or no? What district is it?
Baramati.
Now, that is an interesting matchup. But again, has Ajit Pawar's wife been in politics?
No. In fact, a day ago, Ajit Pawar held a meeting in Baramati, and where he said, and there he said a lot of things which he has never said before, saying that if I had been Sharad Pawar's son, then there would have been no difficulty. I happened to be his brother's son. That is why Sharad Pawar did not favor me, and he favored his daughter Supriya Sule. Sir, we have been talking about dynastic politics. And even in dynastic politics, it's like, the Dasarath and his sons and Kaikeyi and all that. Because here it is, Ajit Pawar says, it is because I was not his son, he did not favor my succession as the leader of the NCP. Now, and he also went on to say that indirectly he also made another point, sir, that I think is worth mentioning. About because Supriya Sule said that Pawar went because of, he was facing charges, corruption charges, he was under inquiry. And counter came, and the counter that Ajit Pawar has given is very interesting. He says, Supriya Sule has never held any ministerial post. How could there be charges of corruption against her? That means that if Supriya Sule had been a minister, perhaps she would have also faced such accusations. And he is facing such accusations because he has been in public life and held ministerial posts. Of course, we citizens feel, why can't you hold ministerial posts and see that you don't face such charges? That is what.
And there are many who don't who are completely spotless, sir. Very
no, but Ajit Pawar says, don't fault me on that. He's telling his cousin Supriya Sule that don't fault me on that. And the one more point he has said is, since he represents Baramati Assembly constituency, which is part of the Baramati Lok Sabha constituency, he says, this time, because sir, it is known fact that Supriya Sule's win has always been ensured by Ajit Pawar. He has been campaigning for her in the parliamentary elections, and he has been looking after that constituency. Supriya Sule has not been playing much role in that constituency, excepting other than attending some functions, but in terms of real electoral work, it is Ajit Pawar and his team in Baramati. Now, so he says, this time I'm going to give you a candidate who is fresh. and who will be but a fresh candidate who has got experienced leaders to guide her. So immediately the conclusion was he has indeed, without mentioning her name, has named Sunetra, his wife, as the candidate for Lok Sabha constituency. And already, sir, in Maharashtra, you are seeing with NCP getting, I mean, the Ajit Pawar faction getting the symbol, party's name. The people there is a movement towards to be on the right side, and there are a lot of people are shifting, cadres are shifting. So you can see what is happening, because the tendency of many leaders as well as later voters also, who are particularly those who are on the sitting on the fence, that they would like to go with the party which they see is likely to win, sir.
Guys, this is the wrong wala right, not the left wala right. Hariharanji is quick to point out that Vibhuti is missing. Yes, Hariharanji, I was busy doing something else, and it was remiss on my part. I will try not to do that again. Sometimes it happens. And sir, what about Ashok Chavan?
Sir, Ashok Chavan, sir, is he sir, Congress, I think we discussed it on Wednesday in our P Guru Hindi.
Whoever wants to go can go. Yeah.
Chavan has been in the doghouse because Rahul's favorite, Nana Patole, doesn't allow anybody else to function, who is the president of the Maharashtra Congress. He is another Rahul Gandhi in Maharashtra. And that is the reason, because even Sanjay Nirupam the other day, the Congress leader, he has said that Chavan would not have gone. He would not have gone if he had been heard. And there is a talk that they may, try to, change the PCC. But I don't think before election, because Rahul has full faith in him. But the fact remains, sir, that the kind of best that you see of the Congress in Maharashtra is largely because of the reason. I have heard from several Congress leaders in Maharashtra that they are very unhappy with Nana Patole, and there is no avenue or a mechanism for redressal.
Wow.
So this being the fair, and Shekhar, sir.
No, go ahead, sir. I have one breaking news. Go ahead, sir.
So Ashok Chavan is for BJP, it's very clear. They have forgotten his Adarsh scam past, though it is mentioned as one of the items in that BJP's white paper. They are looking at the fact that he is a Maratha leader from Marathwada, and he has about 11 to 12 MLAs, current sitting MLAs backing him. Assembly elections are due in Maharashtra. That he's coming to the BJP, and that they have sent him to Rajya Sabha also. They have rewarded him with Rajya Sabha. Will help consolidate the BJP's position in Maharashtra, where BJP has been facing a paucity of good Maratha leaders in its fold. Sir.
Sir, I'm trying to pull up a message that I just got, and I couldn't do it in time. But Tamil Nadu has actually dumped its current chief and appointed a new one, sir.
Yes, sir.
And it is not 𝗤𝙗𝙤 Chidambaram, your good friend.
No, it is not 𝗤𝙗𝙤 Chidambaram, and it is also a person you will have to Google and find out who he is.
Yes. I mean, it's Sengalvarayan or something like that. We are putting it up.
Yes.
𝗤𝗚𝙗𝙗.
Yes, sir. I mean, people wonder who is he, which faction he belongs to, whether already he had a hand in appointing him. But definitely, Chidambaram and his son Karthi will be very upset. And there is already a move afoot in Tamil Nadu Congress to see that the ticket is donated to Karthi Chidambaram, current sitting member of the Shivaganga constituency.
Viewers, if you are wondering what Selvat Perundugai means, that means loosely, man who is very wealthy. Selvam is wealth. And Perundugai is man who is very big. I mean, very big in terms of very wealthy, that sort of stuff. And we'll see what happens. I think Congress has become a total DMK puppet in Tamil Nadu. Their originality is gone. And I think there was a rumor around that people are trying to sell off the Satyamurthy Bhavan and try to profit from that also, because it's in some prime location, I heard. So,
Sir, the 𝗼𝗚𝘀𝗍𝘆 𝗢𝘂𝘁𝑆 is actually MLA, current sitting MLA of Tamil Nadu Assembly, and he represents Sree Perambuttur constituency. But he is not such a very popular face of Tamil Nadu Congress. I mean, he is one of the MLAs. Definitely, Karthik Chidambaram's profile is much bigger. But then, the Karthik Chidambaram or his father Chidambaram cannot get along with the other factions of the Congress.
They are in the doghouse right now.
Yes. So therefore, I think I don't know how this development will anyway increase the bargaining power of Congress with vis-a-vis DMK in terms of getting tickets. I don't think it makes any big difference, sir.
Thank you, sir. And let's now take a few questions. We have a few questions to go through, Shekhar-ji. Let's try and zip through them fast. Pravan Kishore wants to know, Namaskaram, will the narrative on the ground change with Farm Protest 2.0? Looking at farmers' demands look like political and were led by communist agenda. How is BJP countering it?
Well, sir, the talks will continue because the center does not want to appear to shut the doors for talks. But at the same time, what the farmers want in terms of a complete and because the farmers, the latest demand is you issue an ordinance. Now that the parliament last session has been held and another session cannot be held for the next 3 months, you cannot issue an ordinance because an ordinance is always replaced by a bill. It has to be replaced by within 6 months or within 2 months from if a parliament session is an order. Now there is no session, so they cannot take recourse to a ordinance. But that is what the farmers unions are demanding, that you at least you come with a ordinance on this legal guarantee for minimum support price. Sir, this minimum support price has become maximum support price.
Yes.
And
sir,
sir,
they want the upside, but in case there is a downside, they don't want to have anything with it. That means they want a guaranteed amount, whether they have a good crop or not, whether it is abundance, and there are many more states also producing, which will suppress the price, of course. So this is a demand and supply economy. Plus, these guys are not paying any personal income taxes. I think by that was a huge mistake, sir. If you're taxing someone, tax everybody's income. Income is income, right? I don't know why India chose this.
But then farmers are a constituency, sir. No political party in this country wants to rub them on the wrong side. Prime Minister Modi, he thought of a plan to see that their income goes up. That's why the farm bills came. But then a situation was created all over the country, particularly in Delhi, and forcing the government to withdraw those bills. And Prime Minister said, he went on the national radio and said, look, we could not convince farmers. They mistook our intentions. So this is one thing. So I don't see BJP, but one thing, sir, in terms of the plan to go to Delhi and then, to lay siege on Delhi's streets and thoroughfares, that is not being allowed because in terms of law on the ground, the authorities are very, very firm. And farmers know this. I mean, these unions know this. And I don't see this time unions getting big support because these are completely restricted to Uttar Pradesh. There is no panic.
Sorry, it's only restricted to Punjab, sir.
Only to Punjab. And there is not much, and also in all the border areas, sir, the traders, the office goers, they are all coming out and saying, please do not, cause loss to us. Because some people are claiming 300 crores were lost, the border areas alone, with the last agitation. Because supplies could not come, they could not open their shops.
Sir, New Delhi had a milk supply problem, sir, on the first day because it did not arrive in time. And milk is a perishable product. We all know that, guys. If it is not consumed within a short amount of time, it's going to go bad. You'll have rivers of milk. Next question, please. Jai Sri Ram, Rohit Akshay wants to know, are we going to see any impact on the Lok Sabha elections due to the farmer agitation as an additional budget of 10 lakh crores will be a huge burden on our economy. 36% for MSPs.
No, sir, I don't see any impact on the elections because largely the Samikshit Kisan Union group, which is again a breakaway group of the previous one. Because when the last election was called off, this was the group that called off the agitation, much to the displeasure of the other major unions. They are not in this time. And essentially, it is seen that they have the support of Aam Aadmi Party people. And that agitation helped Aam Aadmi Party capture power in Punjab. And this time it is seen as trying to help Aam Aadmi Party regarding those 30 Lok Sabha seats in Punjab. Otherwise, there is not a big thing. Sir.
Next one, please. Magnet Ranga wants to know, Jai Sri Ram, why isn't the GOI exposing the organizers of the farmers' toolkit? Surely they would know. Doesn't Sonia not contesting for Lok Sabha give a demoralizing effect on cadres?
Certainly, sir. Sonia Gandhi not contesting is a huge blow for the morale of an average Congress worker, particularly in Uttar Pradesh. First, Rahul exited last time. By contesting from Wayanad and then coming with statements like people of South are nicer people, the politics in South is better than the politics in the North. And now that the Priyanka is not being allowed to play a role in the yatra, nobody knows who is going to be their candidate from Raebareli or Amethi, or have they abandoned the Uttar Pradesh for good? Sir.
Sir, thank you so much, sir. Viewers, one of the things that you should do to just make sure that you understand the shifting sands in Kerala, the adjoining districts of Kerala, Malappuram, Kozhikode, Calicut, Wayanad, all these are having serious amount of migration of the minorities, and that could change the electoral behavior also. There is real fear that Rahul will not win. That's why he's looking for a safer seat. But who started all this? Who started all this? These were the guys who started all this thing. So there is a problem for him. I don't know, sir. Maybe he'll stand from Karnataka. I don't know. Rahul.
No, at the moment, but he will need a safe seat, sir, because Wayanad, I don't think he has that confidence, or the party will have confidence, because CPM had drawn a blank in the last elections, and they don't want to, lose completely this time, because in 2019 they didn't get a single seat, and this time.
Sir, that was before. Sir, that was before his son-in-law became his son-in-law, sir.
No, possibly, sir, but also, sir, Pinarayi goofed up on the Sabarimala case also. After Supreme Court's verdict, he went about, and that angered a lot of voters in Kerala. And Congress benefited. Congress benefited from that, so they won. The Congress-led United Democratic Front won all the 20 seats in 2019. But it won't be repeated this time, because Pinarayi is very keen. Because if CPM is not able to prove under his leadership that it can win in Lok Sabha elections, the problem will be in store, because the next assembly elections will be 2026. Any setback in the Lok Sabha elections will affect Pinarayi's leadership, and the factions which are opposed to Pinarayi, they'll start raising their fangs.
Sir, he will just step down and make his son-in-law the party chief, sir. And then it will be like, this is the Muslim Party of India, not CPIM. It is MPIM. Ajay Nagendra wants to know, Shekhar ji, what happens next in the wake of reports submitted by NCSC to the president on West Bengal situation? BJP has not taken any action, nor do we expect them to do to the 24 elections.
Well, that report of this National Commission for Scheduled Castes, which has got statutory powers, it has given a report. I think there will be some kind of action from the Home Ministry level. At the meantime, the governor has also sent a report. But one will not see any drastic action like a dismissal or anything like that. Maybe some warnings, maybe some invocation of Article of 355, which is a specific direction to the West Bengal government from the center to act particularly. Or there is also a demand that these cases should be handed over to NIA, National Investigative Agency, because there could be a terrorist angle as to what is happening.
Very much so, I'm afraid. Next one, please. Thank you so much, R.K. Rao ji. Ustad Tweetuddin Khan Chanchet. Oh, thought provocateur. Farmer protest be declared 𝗤𝙧𝙤 𝗢𝘂𝘁 where sprint, hurdle, race, shot put, hammer throw, kids flying are held with winners declared at the end of and prizes distributed by sponsors, AAP and Congress. Interesting. People do get very creative. Thank you. Next one, please. Ustad Tweetuddin Khan Chanchal. Shekhar sir, do you see any negative impact of Farm Protects 2.0 on BJP's Lok Sabha prospects on the ground?
Ustad ji, I don't think there's going to be any big impact. I don't think, excepting in Punjab, where already the scales are tilted in favor of Aam Aadmi Party because of his agitation. I don't see any major fallout. And also the fact, sir, in Western UP, parties like RLD joining hands with BJP. 𝙒𝙧𝙤𝙪 has already announced his decision to come under the NDA banner. So therefore, I think, and RLD represents a lot of your Jat farmers in Western UP. So I don't see any big change or big setback. And that is why you find in the BJP leadership, there is no panic because of this agitation, which I mentioned earlier also.
Right. Next question, please. Chitra wants to know, Shekharji, wouldn't it have been prudent to allow RTA on some criteria that totally strike not the electoral bonds?
Perhaps the Supreme Court could have taken a different view, because here what has happened, as even the one BJP leader said, the baby has been thrown out along with the bathwater. Because now that you have completely said this is no, which means it's back to the square one situation, which means a lot of black money could again find way to political parties. And
Very true.
of course, the Supreme Court has said in its order, they could, the proposal of Pranab Mukherjee when he was finance minister, that could be electoral trusts, which could be involved in, those trusts can be created by companies, registered companies, and then they could, put funds in that funds could be given to various parties without any link between the donor and the particular party. But I do not know how you are going to ensure this, that somebody is giving money without any expecting anything in return. I mean, this is very
Right.
difficult to
Right.
point out.
Very true, sir. Very true. Thank you, Karthik Devendran, for becoming a YouTube member. I think that brings us to a close of today's program. Thank you so much, Shekharji. I apologize if I was distracting you. I was trying to do a few things just to try and get even more up-to-date information, but I failed. Sorry about that. And viewers, we'll be coming back with Shekhar Iyer on Wednesday morning in Hindi. Stay tuned and namaskar.